for you if you like.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the, was it 29th?
29th hour.
29th, no, 28th. 29th. Maths, help me.
30th, 31st?
No, it'll be 32nd by the 4th. So
30.
20. Shut up! 29th hour Adventurers Wanted.
Yeah! Round of applause.
We got there.
Yes. 10:30 in the morning.
It's a rowdy show already.
Welcome to Adventurers Wanted. My name is Chris. I'll be your DM for the next hour. This is Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. We are playing 100 hours of D&D over the course of the Edinburgh Fringe, 4 hours a day. And the story is ongoing. So you guys are stepping into an ongoing story. I will tell you what's happening. I will try and make sure everyone understands what's going on. If you don't at any point, feel free to go, what at any point. That is totally fine. Obviously, you are coming in halfway through. Right, before we get started and go too deep into it, we do relaxed performances. That means that for the benefit of anyone who'd have been difficult for them to be still or silent for an hour, we have a relaxed attitude to sound and noise from the audience and movement. If you need assistance at any point for whatever reason, our stage manager Nemo is over there, and they're giving them a wave. There we go. And you can wave or catch their eye or go over, and they will happily assist you in the course of this hour. The lighting will stay like this. There'll be no background noise. There'll be a little bit of background music, but nothing sudden or loud. If you need to take a break for any reason, the doors you came in through, you can pop out into the foyer space there. You might struggle to get back in without a key fob, so if you find one of the people wearing sweet t-shirts, they'll be able to let you back in if necessary. Awesome! And because it's 10:30 in the morning, we're joined by our BSL interpreter, Tommy.
Yeah! Yay! Round of applause.
Now, just to be clear, Tommy is literally BSL interpreting everything I say, every single word I say. Yeah, good, lovely. That also means he's BSL interpreting an improvised show, so that is ridiculously impressive. We're very, very pleased to have him here. So, we're playing D&D. What does that mean? To those in the room who are uninitiated, we are playing a role-playing game, which means that the four players to my left and right are playing characters in a shared universe that I control, and I play everyone else. And just to make sure that I don't abuse that horrible amount of power that I've just been handed by these four lovely people, we use dice rolls and character sheets and the rules of D&D to make sure that everything is relatively fair. We will shout out numbers occasionally that we roll. A 1 is terrible. A 20 is brilliant. Please boo or cheer depending on how you feel about character.
Boo! Boo a 1.
Yeah, boo a 1. Or boo a 20 if, I'm being really difficult today. That's totally fair. That's how this will go about. Before we dive into the story, I'd like everyone here to give me their name, their character's name, a bit about their character and what pronouns they use. For example, I'm Chris and I use he, him pronouns. So, Ian, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Ian, and I am playing a character called Hamon Iberico de Belota, who is more commonly known as Ham. No, Ham's simple soul. Before the events of the terrible world, just like to cut about in the woods and sometimes pretend to be a bear. That was his thing. And now he likes to cut about and pretend to be a bear and hit things. It's really, that's what his life has become.
Some fantastic characters.
So
So it's just you, Ian. It's
yeah, basically, it's me pretending to be a bear.
And it's he, him pronouns,
Yes,
right?
it is, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
I would pay to see that in an Edinburgh Fringe show.
I'm
Just
honest.
This is an Edinburgh Fringe show. They
I
are.
have been called a bear many times. Yeah.
Come on, stick to the script.
I'm James, and I'm playing Mary, who also goes by Peacemaker. She's a tiefling paladin. Tieflings are half demons or half devils, half human, and she goes by she, her. That's
cute.
I think that's all. Yeah.
Lovely. Jazz.
Hey, I'm Chaz. My character is called Kid Matt John. He is a Furbolg paladin. Furbolg means that he is 7 foot tall. He has blue skin and he has bovine features. So bigger cow nose and big ears. He speaks with a fantasy Minnesotan accent. Yep.
Well, the fantasy aspect of
Yep,
that.
fantasy Minnesotan accent.
Not stage accurate.
Yeah. Fantasy Minnesotan accent.
You also nicked that from another player, so I can't give him that much credit.
And his friendly demeanor hides an insatiable bloodlust.
That's true, we've seen it. It's pretty bloody.
Not frightening at all.
Okay, buddy, it's okay.
Go for it, man.
I'll be playing Tug the Dwarven Barbarian. who is motivated by a need for beer and lovely, lovely ladies, but we don't seem to have any here today.
And what is your name?
My name is Sean.
There we go.
But
Sean is
Oh, I
very
forgot about my pronouns. He, him.
He,
for-
him, and
for
he,
Kid
he,
Matt.
him.
Yes, my apologies.
Lovely. I will say that Sean and James have bought what are called player tickets. You can also buy tickets to play the game, same cost as sitting in the audience. And we do often have regular players, so it's not all guys all the time. We try and represent a bit more than that. But this morning, it appears, we are having the White Hour of Power.
Patriarchy!
Don't say white and power that close together.
Exactly. Please don't describe this as the white power hour.
I described it as the White Hour of Power, people find, and that is only slightly better. Good. Lovely. Well, let us dive into the plot.
Feeling very
Can I
uncomfortable.
have some thematic music, Nemo?
How thematic?
I think we're thinking sort of like plot music, like the sort of thing you'd hear during a preamble or a text rising across a screen while someone talks over the top of it.
The theme from the Golden
of
Girls.
The beginning of Ladyhawke. We are playing Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. We are in the country of Deriland. Deriland is a small country that was utterly, utterly destroyed by an elder god that turned up and decided to take out the infrastructure, enslave the population, and then leave. The population was under the yoke of a cult of this elder god until about a week ago, at which point there was a rebellion 5 years after this horrible calamity occurred. And the rebels have managed to take back their town. They've managed to free dwarven barbarians like Tug over here. They've managed to free elven rangers and human sorcerers in a ticking off of all the common fantasy tropes. And then all of them together managed to fight their way through to the capital, defeat the horrible Lady Mizoth, a woman knight with spiky armor and skull plate helmet. She managed to escape, but the cult was routed and Deriland was freed. And then over the last couple of sessions, they dealt with some of the minutiae of running a country, like giving people jobs and making sure that everyone was all right in the background. So that's now been dealt with. Luckily, you're avoiding those sessions. We return to Goldcrest Castle, in the centre of Goldcrest, capital city. A group of the town leaders and yourselves and some other of your allies are meeting in the old throne room to discuss a plan of attack. The cult has left. Most have been defeated, but the cult still holds sway over, you assume, most of the lands around you. You don't know. As part of defeating the cult here, you found maps, and on the maps they have quite a few of these mines marked out, where this ore is being mined from the ground. When they were enslaved, they were mining this strange ore from the ground that appears to react quite badly to magic, blowing up at seemingly random occurrences and generally causing a bit of mischief and mayhem. And there is some concern about the ore and what it does and what it might do. However, it is the four of you. What are the four of you doing in the throne room while all this is happening? I'm guessing that you're not taking that much part in the A plot. No, I didn't think so. Good. So what B plots are we involving doing this morning?
Well, I see you have a mangler skull there, Kid Matt.
That's right. I've been trying to turn it into a chalice.
Well, if you like, I can make fire from my hands. I can melt the skin off for you if you like.
You know what? That would be super handy. You know?
Just so we're clear, manglers appear to be deformed humanoids that have somehow been horribly twisted and gnarled and turned into these hairy, with wiry hair coming out of them, multi-limbed, too many boned, too many jawed creatures.
That's right, and I cut its head off, and now I want to turn it into a chalice.
I wouldn't recommend drinking out of it. Maybe as a nice sort of paperweight. Or
Maybe I could put a candle in it.
That would be very scary.
Oh, yeah. I could put it next to my bed, and people would be like, hey, don't go in there. That's Kid Matt's room.
I'm sure for many reasons.
The world's goriest nightlight is being constructed. Excellent. You're up to Ham.
I'm just somewhere near the back. I've forgotten that I'm not a bear, and so at this point I'm just like rubbing my back on a column, just like, oh yeah, that's a good one.
And Tugwell.
Just
He's gonna start
continuously,
scat singing
and
in a
just
minute.
as like as people just come back and say, hey, Hey, rub my tummy. Hey. Hey. No. No. Okay. Oh.
So balloon.
Just a man rubbing his back against a column.
It's not weird.
Tug, what are you up to? Save me.
Something sensible.
Tug, engage with the plot.
Tug's afraid of the plot at this point.
Hey man, I'm telling my own story, okay?
No, you do you. You do you. I just kind of at watching the conversation and kind of watching the large man rub himself against the wall. I'm well in my cups, just going, this is going to be a good day.
Excellent.
Question mark?
Hey, we should probably go and free one of those mines, you know?
Well, as you say that and walk forward, you see the what has been loosely termed the Council, the group of 5 rebel leaders who have largely been furthering the plot and, engaging with it. Simon, who used to be the leader of a town called Holmwood, which is where you were all enslaved originally. Nils, the head of the Sorcerer's Academy. Ilassi, an elven ranger rogue who lives in the woods. Broldrin, a rather gruff female dwarf in charge of all the barbarians, and a sneaky lizard folk called Kashyyyk, who was a prisoner in this town and was freed as part of the rebellion and has gained a slightly dubious position on this Council of Voices as well. They are currently discussing the idea of what to do next while I try and do 5 different voices at once. So you're saying these mines might be a good place to start? Yes, I believe so. I believe that if we can take them, whatever the cult is using this ore for, we can find a way of stopping them from using it any further. I don't know what it does. It appears to have this explosive property, as we've seen. They look up, there is a massive hole in the ceiling where the top floor of the castle was blown off. And there's a general sort of as they all look down again. So, it has, like, an explosive property, and it also does something with, moving around. There's, like, teleportation or something? Yeah, I think there's some kind of teleportation magic. There was a portal up there. One of our agents told us when they defeated Mazoth that there was this portal made out of ore, and that was also being used for that, but we don't really know. Nils, the human sorcerer. Well, I think there's a possibility that it might be useful in many other magical ways. I've had my assistant Alf take a large amount of it back to Holmwood to start looking into research of how it comes together. I'll be informing the council when I have more information. But in the meantime, maybe taking one of these mines and helping more people seems like a sensible option.
That's fair. That's fair. What kind of pay are we looking at for something of this nature?
Okay, now, our pay is the joy of bringing freedom to all.
That's good that you don't talk for me.
And also all the beer you can drink.
I'm sated.
Broldrin does sort of look you up and down and sort of come and squares off to you a little bit. You's wanting pay, are you?
You wouldn't?
I get paid fine, I run this fucking army.
Then you see my point.
Make an intimidation check. Roll a 20-sided dice, add your intimidation.
Rud. 6.
She squares up to you. She's not taller than you, but she is more intimidating than you. You got something to say?
How about we get together when I come back?
For God's sake.
Oh, I'm sorry. Not my type.
Burn!
Take a d6 burn damage.
Not everyone likes large, hairy, lovely men. That's fine. That's fine.
Large, hairy,
Sorry, did
lovely
someone
is-
say large, hairy, lovely man? Hello.
Large, hairy, and lovely is fine.
Thank-
Just not the men part.
Yeah.
Yeah. LGBTQ. Hey, got to represent something.
Fuck the patriarchy.
The 4 of you are clearly being singled out to take part in this. You could possibly convince some of the advisors to come with you or bring allies with you if that would be of use to you.
Well, considering that we fought our way out of a mine, we know the sort of general idea of how many people are there. And we're going to need more than just the 4 of us to take it.
It would be a
Although,
nice-
don't get me wrong, I'm going to kill as many people as possible.
I'm starting to like you more and more.
It wouldn't hurt to have a couple extra bodies on the way. If nothing else, just so that, people can go up ahead of us and we can just hide.
What do
That'd
we
be
need
useful.
realistically? We need healers, and we need people who smash things. We don't really need aggressive magic because it'll set off the ore.
That seems very sensible. The sorcerers will steer back and out of the way.
A group of the army then, and a group of rangers.
That seems fair.
Well, I can certainly join you with my rangers. We can scout ahead and make sure there's nothing too difficult in the path.
That's real swell, yeah.
Thank you, Elas.
And I suppose we could have the barbarians join you if you fancy hitting things with a big stick.
Well, I'm sure they would enjoy that, wouldn't they? They do so enjoy it.
Couple in the back. Hey, what? They're going to join in. That's all fine. As you all leave, Elassie is coming with you with some of her rangers, but the barbarians are not NPCs. You see Elassie stop briefly and chat to an older elven woman who some of you will have met briefly. She's called Visatris. She is her mother, and they appear to have a brief conversation about something and then depart. If you want to listen in, you are welcome to try.
I got no stealth, so I'd just be like, "What are you talking about?"
What would I add to that? Because
Make it a perception.
19.
Check. 19.
No.
19. 14 for me.
14.
Was this perception?
Virtual of the day.
It's a good roll.
19 as well.
19 as well. As you walk past, they're talking quite hushed. They're not trying to draw as much attention to themselves. Do be careful with the ore. I have some reservations about it. Why? What's wrong? I don't know. Something about it echoes forwards and backwards. Well, we'll see. Good luck, Dorsey. Good luck. So, the town you're heading to is called Lee Glen. It's 15 miles to the southwest.
15 miles?
15 miles!
We can do that in one day.
You can?
We're adventurers.
We can travel.
Man, I wish we had a bard with us, because we could really use a walking song.
Well,
If we put our heads together, we could come up with a decent song.
Okay,
I've
I'll
heard
take the
your-
bass line.
Okay. Okay, ready? After 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's all be a bear. Walking down the town and the people. Oh.
This is happening. This is actually happening. This is live.
Wait. I'll just roll my performance check. With disadvantage.
Thank you.
That's a 7. Which I believe is an accurate representation of what happened.
I think that was a 7. That's very fair.
That's what happened.
That's what happens. As you four make a jaunty tune as you walk all day, these scouts
Is
around.
that just happening? All day.
Yeah, all day.
Yes, all day. All day.
This is really happening.
I can't imagine a lassie would be
15
happy.
miles long.
You do note throughout the day.
Walking through the forest.
So disadvantage on stealth.
You do note throughout the day that the elves very quickly sort of fade into the woods around you, trying to stay out the way.
Take me with you. Take me with you.
Well, do you see them go? Because they're all really high in their checks.
If they're not there, I know they're probably still there somewhere.
That's probably fair. About as dusk starts to set in, you note that as you walk, the sky around you, it used to be this horrible red-maroon colour while the cult was still active, but after defeating Lady Mizoth and freeing Goldcrest, the sky had cleared. The further away you get from Goldcrest, the more the sky starts to deepen and redden, and it might be the onset of dusk and the sun setting, or it might be a reflection of the cult's slight more power in these areas, but you don't really know. Anyway, as you walk towards Liga, I need you all to make perception checks for me, please.
Hey, 19 again.
17.
8.
6.
Well, the two of you are having a good time with the song and ignoring the song.
Rolling like a champ today.
However, our druid is able to sing and look at the same time, rather impressively, as is the paladin. And as you look ahead, on the horizon, as you start to get closer, you see plumes of smoke.
Oh.
Oh, that can't be good.
What? What's going on?
Shh. Something is afoot.
Could something a bit more threatening, please? Thank you.
That's not
Background
good.
music
That's
has
a
changed.
sign.
Something is afoot.
It seems like we've just passed through a loading gate.
Well, we'll make sure and respawn here.
Yes.
Yeah, make a save point. Right. What do you guys do?
Should we try and be stealthy now? Because
we
I'm going to warn you,
yeah.
I'm not real good at it.
The elves are nowhere to be seen. They appear to be scouting ahead.
I am going to just wait here a minute. I'm going to turn into a bear, and I'm going to scout ahead as a bear. With a coconut bra.
Just make your way in. It can't be yes on one of you.
That's it.
So you're going to scout ahead.
I'm going to scout ahead as a bear, like a bear who has wandered into camp.
So when you turn into a bear,
Uh-huh.
what kind of bear do you turn into? What does it look like?
It's a brown bear.
Yep.
It's a big, it's a big brown bear.
Yep.
Maybe a slightly receding headline these days.
So is it just you as a bear?
Yeah, basically. What's wrong with that?
That's totally fine. You as a bear.
It's got a beard. If a bear could have a beard, it's got a beard.
So it must have a bear with a slightly receding hairline.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All hair.
No, that's slightly receding hairline. Yeah. Only slightly.
It's just a little bald patch
Yeah,
right
exactly.
in front there.
Sir, there appears to
So-
be a bearded bear on the outskirts.
So I rub my hands together, my druidic magic, and I go, "Be a bear!" And I become a bear.
And Ham is once again a bear.
Oh boy,
Signing for that.
that's a real good bear.
Now, Ham can't talk in bear form. So Ham.
But I have limited communication with animals.
you do?
As a furball.
And I can actually speak to beast sense as well and speak with animals.
It takes you
There's
10 minutes.
rituals, that's
It's a ritual. And the bear is your totem animal, so
is.
I
this
could
is
just-
quite a big moment.
I could just get vague ideas about
Yeah.
what you're getting across.
Wait. Scott.
Okay, buddy, we'll stay here. Anybody know a waiting song?
Oh!
Fade away from
We were excited about him!
waiting song! It happens off screen!
When did you lose control of this game?
Never, I'm still in charge. Ian.
Okay. So I'm gonna,
bear.
yeah, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna just pad up, sniffing about, like being a full bear, sniffing about, raking in bins, that sort of thing.
It's a fantasy world, there are no
Well, there should be.
Well, we've already set up a
Recycling's
service.
important.
We'll set up a recycling centre.
But yeah, just just having a sniff about and blah blah blah, and just sort of scouting up and peeking around, and being as naturally bear-like as possible.
Can you make a perception check as a bear? A bearception?
No, where am I? That's for being a bear. La la la. Oh, I have +3 to perception as a bear. Hooray! And that's a 7. Shit.
You make your way up a small rise and look out over what you definitely think is the town of Leighlin. There are ravines all through the town. Many buildings look like they have fallen in. The town from this distance looks deserted. The smoke is rising from several fires in the town. If anything, it looks like it's been abandoned. There is a very, very large, obvious mine shaft at the far end of the town, and these ravines look like they've somewhat extended from it.
Can I smell anything weird?
Roll a perception check with advantage because you're a bear.
I'm a bear. That's a 4 again. God damn it, dice. Taking the 4.
That
so
was a
that's
1.
That's a 7. So I'm better with advantage, so that's a 7 again. No, it's fine, it's fine.
You smell, and with your heightened, impressive bear senses, you smell that it's burning.
Cool. Okay, I'll scout ahead a bit further, see if I can look down into this ravine.
Make another perception check, please.
Okay, come on, don't fuck me around, come on. Oh, no puzzles. 10.
10.
Better, slightly better.
As you scout ahead a bit further, just about hear something to your left. But as you look over from the right, an arrow sticks in the ground in front of you.
Oh.
And an elf comes walking over, looks towards you, and just gives you a look up and down. Is that you, Ham? Ham, you're gonna have to. Is that you? Yeah, right.
Nuzzle.
There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Okay, I'll pad back and pick up the others.
And I had a great time, so that was my second birthday. Right now.
The elf is staying there, and they are making a perimeter.
Okay, I'm gonna grab, go by the coattail, bite you by the coattail.
Hey, what is it? Do you smell something? What is it? Somebody's in trouble?
You can communicate small, basic concepts with him.
Moron!
Hey, catch more flies with honey than with vinegar.
This way.
Okay.
So you guys all following with the bear.
Yeah.
You making stealth checks?
Yeah, sure, why not?
No. No, we're good.
Wearing heavy armor.
15.
You're wearing heavy armor, aren't you?
Come on.
Oh, yes. My apologies.
Oof,
13.
That ain't good. That
It's
is-
fair to say with Tug not stealthing, it kind of doesn't matter, but I just want to know
Yeah.
how bad it is.
That is a 3.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm really trying
The
this
other roll
time.
was good.
I'm going to sort of tell you the story from the perspective of an elven scout. He's been in these ranger corps for quite some time. He's very, very good at this. He's sitting in the bough of a tree going, I am the wind. And just very carefully making clear...
It's Batman.
No, it's Hawkeye, apparently. Making very clear that he knows lay of land and that he knows that no one's going to enter this patch of wood without him knowing until his allies start clomping through the wood behind him. There's just a very quiet...
Years of the academy.
Years of the
Wasted.
academy wasted. The four of you go onto this little rise and look out over the town, and it is exactly how I described it there. You can roll perception checks for more information than a 7.
Yes, I'll
Yeah, I didn't
Maybe.
know.
Nice.
12.
20.
20.
Yeah.
16.
16. Lovely. I mean, Mary sees more than you, but you all get the small sense of this. From this height, as you look down, you can see that the mine appears to be the shaft and these ravines. They're man-made. They were specifically cut in this way, or blasted in this way. And it appears to be, from the height you can tell, Mary, part of the symbology of the cult. It's a symbol you've seen before on emblems that they've worn on their clothing. And it appears they've tried to recreate the shape of this in the mine itself, even though it's cut through and damaged a large part of the town.
Would I reckon that the mine that we were all in was the same? Could I roll history?
Roll history on that, sure.
No positives. Not bad. History +2, 19.
19. You can remember the mine outside Holmwood where you were all enslaved, and there was a similar pattern to the way, not from the outside like a shaft down view, but from the inside, as in central chamber, patterns coming out of it. Almost like they are using the mine as a magical focus point, or making sure that they include symbology to their god in their mining process.
I think I know the answer to this, and I dread to ask it, but what is it seemingly in the shape of?
It's the sort of like head of an octopus.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's face it, the elder god was called Cthulhu. We're not really being subtle about this.
I think it's pronounced Cthulhu.
I don't think it's pronounced like a copyrighted name.
It's public domain.
It's public domain.
Oh, it's a public domain now.
Yeah, he's been dead a long
Haha,
time.
screw you, Howard.
Is it? It's not Howard, is it?
Yeah, Howard Phillips.
I know, I have a brain like a sieve. Alright, good. So, you are standing on this ridge looking down into this town. This town has been damaged beyond all belief. There are fires through it. You can, with your 20, you can see bodies in the street. There has very definitely been something gone horribly wrong here, but you don't know.
Are there any...
Hey, some people might still be in danger. We should
Yeah.
go down there.
could I, with my 20 perception, I'm going to have to roll again, can I see people, prisoners being led around to barracks or some such thing?
Nope. No movement.
No movement.
That
at
music's
all.
ruddy
Just
mysterious.
bodies. Bodies of cultists or bodies of prisoners or...
Can't tell from this distance. Just bodies.
Might as well move in. If it was gonna attack us, it'd have done it by now.
Famous last words. Okay, here we go.
Spoken like a barbarian. Let's do this.
How about you go first and smash things? And see if there's a tavern.
Twist my arm.
But if he goes first, then I won't get any killing.
That sounds like a you problem. I'm heading down.
I'm heading down.
Behind you, you hear a very quiet.
Not ham.
I just love killing.
Ilassi, who snuck up behind you because she just naturally does this, goes, "Why don't all of you go and have a look around and we'll keep watch? We can hit things at range if necessary."
I'm gonna stealth down there.
With disadvantage, Chaz.
Oh, that was a natural 20.
I'm sorry, you're wearing heavy armor, man.
You're a mean man.
I'll stealth down also.
Obeying the rules.
Are you happy it's a 7 now? You happy?
I am. I'm exceptionally happy.
14.
We were probably being screwed over by some of my coconuts knocking together. Anyway.
Bada boo bee, bada bee, da da da.
It's the scat you're doing right
We're
now.
getting back in
It's tearing
the,
him
we're getting
out.
back in the cultural appropriation, man.
Sorry, yes, just
Do I still have my cultist robe that I took off those guys we killed the other day?
Oh, that's
roll
right.
me a 20-sided dice.
Oh, I've got it written down.
Left it at home.
4.
No.
Left it at home.
No.
Why would you carry around a bloodied cultist robe for no good reason?
It wasn't bloody.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna-
just press the clean.
I'm
As a-
sorry, why would you carry around a cultist robe for no good reason?
I would have remembered this
As I
going on this mission.
very awkwardly stealth down, can I do disguise self?
Yes, what do you disguise yourself as?
Well, the cultist I tend to go for is the first cultist I killed.
The first cultist you killed, you once again turned
Yeah,
into
the
the man
guy-
whose eye you popped out of its socket with a pickaxe.
Yep.
Yeah,
Nice.
that happened. It was
Oh, that went down pretty quick.
It was good. It was good.
I just love killing.
I rolled a 15 for myself to get that.
Okay, the two of them are stealthing down. Mary seems to have a better hang of using her heavy armor and muffling bits that would clink together, whereas Kirmad is doing that thing where do chink 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 chink. Thinks he's being very stealthy. He is not.
Being very stealthy as a cultist.
And this cultist is chinking in heavy armor despite not wearing any.
That's part of the mystery.
I am the wind.
What are you two doing while these two idiots do that?
I'm just gonna pad along behind.
Yeah, I'm,
Paddle.
Pad along is like.
As your one-man tribute to Phil Harris continues.
I have no problem being seen. I'm just kind of walking right down. Zero problem.
You enter Lee Glen. The town is horrifying. There are bodies everywhere. Cultist bodies, what look like people not wearing cultist robes. If you had to guess, you'd say rebels of their own kind. They are all over the ground. There's a breeze blowing through the town and it carries this rotten meat smell that just wafts past you.
Can I make a con save?
Yes, please do.
That one.
Oh.
Well, what happened?
Ah, jeez. This isn't good.
When you look at the bodies, it's not just that they've stabbed each other to death. There are a couple of those, but there are also some that have been what looks like half eaten. There are some that have been torn in half and thrown, and there's sort of bits of entrail hanging off roofs and that sort of thing as well. It is grim. Very, very grim.
What could have done this? An explosion or a beastie? Or?
Would I be able to tell what if it was an animal or something like that?
Sure, roll a nature check for me.
I prefer animal handling, but okay.
Are there any animals you're trying to handle?
That's a 7 with my -1, and animal handling is not just a 6. I'm not very good trained. -1 on nature.
They look like they've been torn, not stabbed, cut, bludgeoned. You can draw your own conclusions.
Wait, should I use my own? Should I use my bear stats actually for that?
No, you keep your mental stats. With
Oh,
you.
okay, fair enough.
I
Damn
checked
it.
one of the bodies of one of the rebels or actually one of the cultists that's local.
What are you looking for?
Just kind of rummaging through pockets.
Investigation, please.
Yes.
Can I take the robe off of one of the cultists?
Sure, if you can find what isn't torn in half.
16.
16.
Investigation.
As you dig through the body, you find like 10 copper pieces. Like there's some gold on it. This is not. Someone has not left. Someone has not gone through this body and stripped it of anything.
Right.
It's very much a dead body lying in the street that's just been left there.
So this definitely wasn't. This wasn't a B&E. Somebody came here to do this. This is the crappiest party I've ever seen.
The mine hole shaft. Sorry, the mine shaft ahead yawns in front of you, and the ravines that cut through town are all around you.
Could I make a quick perception check to
Of
see
course.
if there's anything hiding nearby
Of course.
that might have done this?
Please do. Would you roll? No, everything's fine. There's nothing around here.
Ominous.
Wait.
Subtle.
You have seen some of the creatures that the cult have used as pets. These Gru, or you've seen Gru, you've seen Manglers, you've seen Hulks. These,
Hulks?
Yeah, there's Hulks. You've
Are
seen
they
these
incredible?
wiry-haired, wiry, matted fur, too many teeth, too many mouths, too many jaws, too many bones. These horribly deformed creatures. You've seen them, and the effect on these bodies is something that they could have achieved.
Can I use Divine Sense?
Please do.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
I'm going to check the rules of Divine Sense. It's so long.
It's Celestials, Fiends, and Undead.
Thank you. Celestials, Fiends, and Undead. Excellent. Tell me how you Divine Sense, please.
So when I start to use my Divine Sense, my big bovine ears start to glow, and it creates that effect like when you're standing in sunlight and you can see the cartilage. So it's like that, but just on these big blue bovine ears.
What's the range on it?
60 feet.
60 feet. And again, it's hearing. It's sort of like a sort of
Yeah,
a
it's a cow echolocation.
it's
Yeah.
kind of like a sort of a comes back. What you get around you is faint wisps of undead, but they're unclear. They're not well. You don't get like a sort of classic ping back. You just get a general sense of undeadness around you, with the occasional sort of like there's almost a ping, but then it fades away.
I don't think we're alone.
I know, I'm right here.
I meant beasties, but okay.
He's right there.
This is a bad place.
I think we should leave. This is a trap.
Would anyone like to roll a survival check?
I would love to.
13.
Thank you.
Oh, you're not rolling well.
5.
Nice.
Wait, no. What would be my? What would be my?
Survival.
What would that be under?
Wisdom. Which is
Wisdom.
your mental stats.
My mental stat. Okay, 5.
19.
19.
19 as well.
Nice.
Excellent. Kidmat, what you start to realise is that a lot of this fighting clearly happened either up here, or as you look towards where the mine shaft is, there are more bodies the closer you get to the mine. So it looks like the fighting may have spilled out of the mine, almost if they tried to rebel themselves like you guys did, and it didn't go quite as well.
I start drifting towards the mine entrance.
The two of you with your 19s realise something else. Some of these bodies have been dragged. The ones that have been torn, especially the ones that have had something happen to them, that aren't just fighters who've dealt with each other. The ones that have been partially eaten, they've been dragged towards the mine.
And then left.
Not all of all the drag marks continue for some into the mine. But some of them are still been left here.
I think there's something in there that.
You guys want to investigate the town more or go to the mine?
Well, here's a question. Do we need these mines? I mean, are they looking to get this ore and use it?
Well,
Yeah.
they've already.
They've
got
used it for
enough.
teleportation magic.
No, they have, but have we? Do we need the council? Do they need it?
I don't think we're powerful enough. Also, we have ore in the city.
Then here's my question. Let's just blow the mine. This ore reacts to fire and magic. If we blow the mine, whatever's in there is going to stay in there for as long as necessary. If it gets out, we handle it. If it doesn't,
On the off chance there's at least one person down there, I think that's a bad idea.
that's fair.
I don't want to trap it. This place needs cleansing.
If something dragged these bodies towards the mine, either to feed whatever might still be in town, hiding.
Roll a perception check. Roll it.
Come on, this time.
Nat 1.
That one. You're a bit horrified by all this.
Bit of
13.
13.
dust in my eye.
19.
There you go.
20.
Yes.
20. The two of you, your ear pricks up. Classic bear. Mary, you hear a faint moan, and as you look to your right, there is a larger house. Looks a little bit like a mayor's office or town hall, and you swear you heard a moan from inside.
I'm going to bound up to the door, and just as I get to the door, I'll drop out of bear.
Can I ride on your back as the bear?
How dare you? No.
Well, I'm trying,
Sometimes there are lines, and we don't cross them.
trying to keep.
If I offer you my back, fair enough, but don't just take it. So bound up to the door, and I'll.
Once you get to the handle, just
Yep.
cool. Did you open the door?
Yes. Carefully.
As you open the door and look inside, much like your own town hall, this town hall has clearly been used by cultists as a place to stay and keep these horrible grue monsters that we discussed before. The floor is dirty, it's not been well looked after, but what you do see in front of you is stack upon stack of the ore that has been very neatly arranged, very neatly packaged, and very neatly placed at the bottom of this town hall. It's all there.
Okay. I'm going to very carefully close the door, and I'm just going to say to everybody,
What?
so much of it in here.
I'm going to drop my
I'm
disguise and,
just-
keep drifting towards the
And I'm gonna call Thalasi over.
Elastic.
Elassie, sorry, no, I keep calling her the Lassie. That's the problem. Scottish.
Elastic is on a ridge far outside town, keeping an eye over for any sudden movement. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna be like,
You see a figure in the far distance just start walking down towards town. Here, what, 5 minutes to get here.
cool. I'll wait.
I am still drifting
Drifting towards
towards
the
the mine.
I won't. I'm going inside the house. I heard a moan. The mayor's-
Inside the mayor's office.
Yeah.
Lovely.
There was a moan.
You step in, and this
I wouldn't recommend.
this insane amount of ore is just racked up in front of you and there. And as you look at it, it's been very neatly set, and there is a table next to it with some papers on it.
Could I read those papers?
Sure, roll an investigation check.
Natural. Critical success.
Yes.
I read those papers so hard.
Well, you find all of them.
You find mistakes in the spelling.
Yeah, the foreman here wasn't great with spelling.
It looks like you're trying to write an evil portent.
Would you like some help?
What you find is that the town hall was turned into a foreman's office, much like you had an overseer in yours back in Holmwood. This one is similar. There are maps of the houses and buildings of this town of Lee Glen, and you can see where with big red ink lines they have drawn through where the ravines have to be placed, and they have cut through where houses are, seemingly deciding that because of, for whatever reason, this mine being here, them building it here, the town has to basically be cut through to allow it to happen. So the partial destruction of the town that you saw earlier has nothing to do with the fires or this fight. That's just what happened to the town when they built the mine. There's also some numbers written across the bottom, just scrawled across the bottom. You roll a 20.
Yeah.
What he's done, this rather sensible cultist, is has written out each lump of ore and made each box a set amount of ore. In other words, trying to make it into ingots or bars. And you note that he started cataloguing what they've got so far, and he started making notes of what they found in the mine. The boxes in front of you contain, if it's one block, and then 5 per row, and then 10 rows per box, and there's 20 boxes in this room, that's already a lot of the ore. Yeah. He's then got more numbers after that, trying to estimate how much is down there, how much they can take out. But his maths must be wrong. I mean, these numbers are too big. You saw how much ore was in the mine you guys were in, and I mean, they'd have to be digging so deep. It's an impossibility. The numbers are far, far too big, unless this mine is different.
I am now in the mine.
Hang on.
Wish I had animals. Are there any other? Is it just the numbers? It's basically an inventory of the ore. There's no mention of what is in the mine. Any creatures?
Nope.
Did I hear sort of which? Was there a moan from upstairs or was it downstairs?
You don't know. You heard a moan from the house. You went towards it. You are now in the house. We'll come back to that.
Oh.
You're outside the house,
Yes.
waving frantically at
Waving
Lassie from a
frantically at
distance.
Lassie, yes.
So where have you gone? Are you with them or are you going with him to the mine?
Don't abandon Kid Matt.
Alright, I'm following Kid Matt.
As you head towards the mine, it's a sheer drop in front of you. The ravine has been artificially cut and blasted. There are scaffolding pieces and what looks like the beginnings of a stair system to go down, but it has been heavily damaged by the fighting, and some of the fire that has been spreading has clearly burned bits of this and burned itself out. It looks treacherous, to say the least. Roll a perception check, both of you.
Ooh, 18.
19.
From down inside the mine, you hear a scream suddenly cut short.
How sheer is the drop? How deep?
Can you see in the dark? Do you have dark vision?
I do. 60 feet.
Mm-hmm.
I do not see in the dark.
Cool. Neither of you can see the bottom.
Well, I heard a scream. I'm a paladin.
It got cut short.
Yeah, so
It got cut short.
Yeah, it was.
All the more reason that haste is important.
What would you like to do?
As rapidly and gingerly as possible, I would like to descend.
we all have rope, right? And the thorns for.
How?
What? How do I descend?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
Find the least rickety looking stairs. Oh, I'll tell you what else I can do. That's it. Channel Divinity Sacred Weapon. It glows light in a 20 foot radius.
Wait. Before you go down, why don't we try to bring it up? Use bait.
What?
Whatever's down there is making that thing scream and stop screaming. Let's bring whatever it is up here, as opposed to running down there and dying before we get to it.
Hey, you got a good point.
You do have a cow person.
Your point being?
I've got a
He's
lot.
automatically bait because he's a cow?
I'm gonna take out one of the arrows from my longbow and
say
prick
that.
my hand,
It's not Jurassic Park.
and then like
They don't want to be fed.
squeeze some blood down into the.
Into the ravine. Nothing happened.
Oh, you're being too subtle. Just gonna roar down there.
Okay. Roll an intimidation check for me. Why not?
Aww. 4.
Nothing happens.
I've got a +6 to persuasion. Hey, it's a lot of food out here. Lot of food out here if you come out.
It's assuming it speaks common.
I say it in common, giant, and elvish.
If he speaks it in common loud enough, they'll understand. I mean, that's usually the.
Oh.
I distance myself from that remark completely. Roll a persuasion check.
19.
Yes.
Nice.
Cool. Your shout echoes around the ravine, bounces back at you, almost like it's mocking. Mary. Mary,
Yeah.
make a perception.
No. It's 50.
You don't know how or why, but you get a very strange sense there's something in the room with you.
I'd like to use my divine sense.
How does your divine sense look?
Much like before, I bring my hands together, just sort of almost in prayer, and sort of small flames erupt from red and gold. And as I my eyes are closed at that point, and as I open them, the flames sort of dissipate in a shockwave, and it's almost like echolocation as I realise where things are.
As you open your eyes and this shockwave blasts out from you, directly in front of you, a face appears out of nowhere, realizes that you've seen it, and just screams at you. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw, please.
It's a ghost.
It is indeed a ghost!
No puzzles. 17. Fails, doesn't it? Oh, God.
You stand fast against the scream. Pull out your weapon.
How loud is the scream?
Loud, you all hear it. It is a shocking, horrific scream bouncing around.
I would like
Gonna head back.
Yes.
You all run towards, excellent.
I'd like to pull out my weapon.
You pull out your weapon.
Yeah.
Does your weapon light up in any way?
It's a great sword.
It's a great sword. Just shing, pull out, ready.
And seeing that I see it, I'd like to hit it with a branding smite.
Branding smite makes your sword light up. As your sword lights up, your divine sense still.
Oh
on.
no, I'm in the ore room. You person.
As your sword, a lick of magical flame licks up the edge of your sword.
Nice knowing you, Peacebringer.
As the flame comes around you, and you realise that you are now lighting up this room, and your divine sense is on, you suddenly realise that this isn't the only ghost in here, as other faces start to appear out of the shadow around you, and all start to rush towards you. And that's where we end this.
No! Damn you, Chris! Damn you!
Thank you ever so much
Help
for
me, bird
joining
person.
us. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate everyone in the room and on the Twitch stream. It's always lovely to have you. Please do help us spread the word on Twitter, Facebook, face-to-face with real human beings, like normal people. We're on Twitter at Adventurers250, where Nima has also been live tweeting this entire hour, and every hour of the game is live tweeted. So if you like to keep up with the story, you can actually read it like an interactive novel as the adventure goes along, and the Fringe goes along. You can also watch it at twitch.tv.
It's a Twitter for the old people.
Right over there. Twitch is a lovely platform that lets you stream things live on the internet, so the show is live streamed, so you can always keep up there. Or you could always buy another ticket to watch the show from the box office out there, or from the Sweet website, or edfringe.com. You can also go to the Sweet box office and buy a ticket to play. These two guys on my far left and right bought tickets to play, and you can become part of the adventure. We make a character for you, get you involved. And also, we're aware we sometimes let the stereotypical white male D&D players people can imagine would be up here, and we're trying to keep pushing that out of the way. And we do normally do so more successfully than this hour.
I mean, we'll go. Like, we'll just
I will
I am
gladly
going.
go. I will
I
gladly
am going.
To be replaced by another white man, but there we go. We also have a Patreon where you can patronise us, literally the word. There are rewards starting at a $5 and help us bring D&D, tabletop role-playing, this kind of atmosphere and vibe to a wider community. There's a donate button on the website too. Twitch viewers, since you watched the last hour for free, pop on that. Pop a pound in, we'd appreciate it. We also do free play events in London, work to make games more accessible. The Patreon's the best place to find out about all of that, because we try and keep it all in one place. Now, before we go, I'd like to give our players a chance to plug anything else they're working on at the Fringe, starting on my far left.
Not working on anything, just here with Slippery Rock University. So, thank you for that.
No worries, man.
Cool. I'm involved in a couple of things up here at the Fringe, one of which is the show that I'm running off to do now. I'm in a play. It's called Courtroom Play, a courtroom play. And it is on every day at 12:25 at the Pleasance Dome. It's a very fun, really charming play. The best way to describe it is it's like Legally Blonde meets Hot Fuzz. But it's a really, really fun vibe. So if you like a courtroom drama and a bit of silliness, that's the one for you. I'm also in a sketch comedy double act. We're called Dirty White Boys. Our show is called Manners. It's on every day at Just the Tonic at the Caves at 10:10 at night. It's a pay what you want show, so it's free to get in. We think it's our best show ever. It's a really fun show. People seem to be enjoying it, and it'll be nice to see some friendly faces because we've got press in tonight.
I'm going tonight.
Are you going tonight?
Yeah,
Good man.
I am the host of a comedy panel game show called Imaginary Porno Charades, which is a game show where people do charades based on titles made at porn films, the clues in the title. We've got guests from all over the festival every night. We've got a fantastic lineup tonight, including Jeremy Nicholas, Samira Zera, Sindhu V, and Laura Lex. So a really good lineup tonight. And we are on tonight and every night at Sweet Grass Market, which is the sister venue to this place, at 10 o'clock. So bring your mum, she'll love it. There we go.
It is really good fun. It's very good. We won when I played.
Chloe didn't. That's a shame.
Yeah.
Everyone will simulate felching.
And it's my day off today, but usually I work at here at Sweet Venues, and there's a ton of great shows. Do you have children, or do you like comedy? No. Well, regardless, go see.
We're getting a train back to London at 4:30.
4:30. Well,
That's the whole.
that gives you time to go see. Dr.
Most of our audience is leaving before these shows
Bad
happen.
Schemes. It's at, I want to say 1 today.
Such an amazing plug. Like, that's just the best plug ever. It's exactly what you want.
I want to say it's good.
Well,
I think on that note, we'll end there, James. Jesus, wow.
well, it's either 20 or 2. So,
There we
so
go.
chance, go at 25.
You give it 1 o'clock,
Give yourself a 20-minute window. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you so much for joining us in the room, guys. Thank
Bye.
you very much. And see you all
Thank you,
soon.
Tommy.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah.